Mic check one, mic check two. Hope you guys had an awesome day in the market. And I want you to know that I am here and I am still setting up. So bear with me. I'm on time. I'm feeling good. We got everything we need to have for tonight's show. I'm just making sure I got everything set up the way we need it, guys. And wouldn't you know it, the script is not right. Of course. It's always something, ain't it? Now, this will make this so funny or crazy. I actually started on this 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. And all of this work I didn't put into this script to make sure we was good tonight still is not spaced the way it needs to. So when I paste it in the prompter, it's not broken up the way it needs to be broken up. So hopefully what I'm about to do, I'm about to get this to AI and ask AI to go ahead and put the single space between everything for me and see if this gets us where we need to be. So I'm just going to chat with you. If you got any questions, you want to say what's up, hey, what's going on? What's going on out there? Go ahead, fill up the chat while I do this. All right. Hopefully this fixes the problem. Got that going on. We got the live stream. Okay, let's put this back. Actually, no, we don't need to do that right now. Let me go ahead and set the earnings page up while we waiting on that. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. I'm still setting up. Hope you had an awesome day. Don't be afraid to put something in that chat. Say what's up. Tell us where you're tuning in from. How you did in the markets today, if you was trading or investing. All right, we got that going. Let me see. We're good. We're good on that spacing. So we got that good. We covering Dell. Here's something with Facebook. I don't know what that is. Let's close that out. Let me cut this phone off so it won't be going off during the live stream. I've been doing a lot of research this week too. Doing some research on reading financial statements, going to the SEC website so I can dive deeper into the financials of these companies, because that's a very powerful tool to find out how they're using the money. Are they profitable? Are they using debt? How they're using debt? Where are they spending it? Are they buying shares back? It's a lot of information in the financials that they have to disclose on the SEC website with certain forms. So that's what I've been researching this week. And I do have the Q&A scheduled for this weekend, which I'll talk about at the end of the stream. So let me see if I can delete this and get the prompter set up. I think AI should be done breaking this down for me. So let me go there and see what it's saying. Oh my gosh, it's still working on it. I cannot believe this. Murphy's Law is real, guys. I swear to you. We might as well just sit here and talk about problems. Man, I'm telling you, it don't matter how. I think I'm gonna need like 3 or 4 hours to set up before the live stream, and it really shouldn't take that long. But man, every time it's something. So I had everything ready to go. as far as like what we working on now. I thought I had it all ready to go, but the spacing on the script for tonight wasn't spaced properly. So now every line of text is all bunched up in the prompter. So I can't skip to the next line to read the text because it's all bunched up. So I'm trying to have AI break it up for me, but it's acting like it's having a hard time doing that. So let me see what's going on. Yeah, this ain't working. So let me try this one more time, guys. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on AI to fix my script. Okay, here we go. Put single line spacing between the lines in the script for my prompter. Got it. All right, now I'm gonna give it the script and let's see what it does. Hopefully it gets it done this time. This is bad. This week has been hectic for me. Like the missing Monday, like having that holiday for Memorial Day off because the stock market wasn't open, that threw me off. Like that threw me all off. Having those 3 days off, it like threw off my rhythm of how I do my live streams. It threw my rhythm all off. But we got it. I have it set up now, so we can go ahead and get started. Let me blow this back up. And let me check these other screens and make sure I got them right. And then we can dive into tonight's show. Appreciate you guys for being patient with me. Let me get this stuff set to make sure this is right. That's right, and that's ready to go. Let's check this. That's right, that's ready to go. Now I need to check the charts. We got Dell on the charts. Let me check the watch list. The watch list is not set up. Let me put that right. Ma'am, S&P 500. We got that. We got the biggest loser up. We go back to the charts. We got Dell. All right, now let me go here. Check this. Make sure we got that right. Okay, we're good. So we can go here and we can go ahead and get started, guys. My elbows ashy. No, I'm good. Like, man, he got some ashy elbows and he ain't on time. Double bad. All right. So we got everything set up. We can go ahead and get this going. Clean my computer out today. So some people don't do that. That took me a little time today, and the house was a little chaotic. My kids and the dog was all over the place. This is a whole bunch of noise. Man, it was crazy. But we good. We're here now. We got it going. So let's get the show on the road. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I'm your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God it's Thursday, guys. And tonight we're taking a look at ticker DELL. You might know them better as Dell. Dell Technologies Incorporated was founded in 1984 by Michael Dell, with the first office opening in Austin, Texas. Now they're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange and have a market value over $200 billion. Dell is in the technology, hardware, storage, and peripherals industry in the information technology sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Dell's competitors are HP Incorporated, ticker HPQ, Hewlett Packard Enterprise Company, ticker HPE, and Super Microcomputer Incorporated, ticker SMCI. We're going to review Dell's earnings, their website, and visit the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, and my stream deck ain't changed this, so let's put this where it needs to go. Let's get this right. Let's try this one more time because it did not put the disclaimer. Let's do this again. All right. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, and it still ain't doing it. Whoa, what is going on? I'm gonna have to manually switch these. The live stream thing is not working. and I have no idea why. Here we go. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming live Monday through Friday, following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings. Wonder if it's going to work. Let's push this button and see what happens. This has been an adventure tonight. Let's see. Are the earnings going to pop up? I just did something. Wait a minute. Okay, that's right. Let's go over here. Earnings. Got it. We got that there. Now let's go to the earnings screen. Okay, that worked. I don't know why the other stuff didn't work, but never mind. Let's move on. Let's get it going. Dell Technologies Incorporated, ticker symbol DELL, the $205.9 billion company, reported its first quarter fiscal year 2027 earnings on Thursday, May 28th. They have a 52-week high of $327.73, which took place on May 28th, and a 52-week low of $106.38 that occurred on June 2nd, which is a trading range of $221.35. And they closed today at $317.05. Dell's earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $43.8 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $35.5 billion, and beat on the bottom line as greater than expected demand for AI optimized servers drove record profitability. EPS was higher than the analysts and market expectations of $2.95 when they reported an adjusted EPS of $4.86. Dell reported a GAAP net income of $3.4 billion, which is higher than the $965 million net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 256.3%. So for the first fiscal quarter of 2026, their net profit was approximately 71.9% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 4:30 p.m. Eastern time conference call. As far as guidance, management raised its fiscal 2027 revenue guidance to between $165 billion and $169 billion. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $317.05 represents an increase of 198% in just under a year. So if someone invested $1,000 in June at that 52-week low of $106.38, they would be seeing a gain of $1,980.35. Guys, let's get it. All right, we moving on. Now, let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? We look for those answers in four main areas: the homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now, let's go visit Dell's website. We got through that. That was smooth. Once we got everything rolling, seemed like everything fine. So we're going to keep it going. Here we are on the website. Bam. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button. I definitely would appreciate it. So we are on the home page of Dell. I'm browsing over the top to see if it's anything up here we're going to go to. I don't see anything. So we're going to scroll over this homepage and hopefully we can find everything we're going to go check out at the bottom of the website. So we can see they have a laptop up there for sale, tech specs. They're talking about, did I click on a laptop or that's just what they got on the main page? All right. Meet the new Dell Pro Precision 5 Series 14S laptop. They have a video here. And remember, links to the websites are down in the description for your convenience. Empowering your capabilities. Maximize your potential with this formidable ultra mobile PC. Braided technologies provide performance and resilience. CPU, GPU, accelerate business success with Copilot and Windows 11 Pro. Elevate your experience. So they put a lot of upgrades up in here on that laptop. Sleek, modern design, dimensions, and weight. I wonder if I clicked on a laptop because they're giving a lot of information about this laptop. We're going to keep scrolling. The information we look for is still going to be at the bottom. Crafted with circularity in mind. So material and enterprise class security features. Okay, take a closer look at the Dell Pro Precision. All right, simplify IT. All right, we're down at the bottom, guys. So let's see where we need to look. Let me take me off the screen. We're going to go to who we are, careers, and investors. That's where we're going to go. All right, so let's go to who we are. Let's get started with that right now. Put me back on the screen. Who we are. We are a global team united under a single purpose to drive human progress through the power of technology. So they talk about their story, their values, which scrolls down the page. If we click it, the leadership, scroll down the page. Yeah. So we visited this website before. I don't remember which live stream it was, but you can scroll through the channel and find it. All right. So we went over the home, well, not the home page. We just went over who we are. So now let's go to careers and see if we can find the benefits. How well do they take care of the employees? That's what we're looking for now. So let's scroll over this page. I saw some options at the top, so we're going to come back to that in a second. Innovation starts with you. Redefine what's possible. You deserve to thrive in a place that champions bold thinkers and unstoppable doers. Your future starts here, who we are, which we already looked at. So they talk about how we hire. I like when companies do that. So here's their opportunities. These are the different divisions they have within the company. Together, we know making an impact isn't just about what we create. Now it's about shaping the technologies of the future. Got it. Grow with purpose, thrive with us early in career. Here are some things they've been recognized for. This is your time. This is your place. Let's make a difference together. Okay, let's go back to the top and look at those options I was talking about. So life at Dell, global benefits. Bam, we got it. So let's go there. Global benefits. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. So here we are with the global benefits at Dell Technologies. We support your career and with benefits that prioritize balance and well-being, helping you thrive at work and beyond. So here's where the benefits are. You can dive into this deeper on your own time. Let's see if this stuff is clickable. Nope. So you just browse over it and you can find that, okay? You dive into that. The links are down in the description for your convenience. So here we are. We're going to go to the investors section so we can get ready to go to the charts and share the research that I got before we did the live stream. So they open this up on a different web site. So let me make sure we're all set up so we can go over this together. We're good. We're good. So we're on the investors page. We're going to scroll over this. We can see the New York Stock Exchange, the ticker symbol, and some of the stock information at the top. Scroll over this page. Okay. Investor resources. And we're already at the bottom. All right. Where we want to go is right at the top. Right. Come on now. Come on. Stock information. There we go. Stock information. So here's the stock quote, and we're waiting on the chart to pull up. So we've talked about this before. I think they outsource a company and have them pull the stock data on these company websites. This has been a common theme where either it takes a while for the chart on their website to load. So I just chat to you guys, try to keep the stream live and flowing while we're waiting on this to load up. And there we go. So this has been a common thing that's been happening when we visit these websites. So the stream won't die off because we just waiting on that to load. I just chat. All right, so here are the dividend and other tools, investing tools that they have available on the website. We got it. We browsed everything we need to see from there, so we can go ahead and move on. So let's go here and talk about the company research that I found with Dell before we did the live stream. So Dell does have customers and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include NVIDIA Corporation, ticker NVDA, Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT, and Intel Corporation, ticker INTC. Okay, so that's what I found during my research on Dell. So let's go back to the main. So good like up there. Okay, cool. Now, before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders can lose critical details and advanced platform features using apps on phones instead of software on computers or websites. So keep in mind, trading from a smartphone is usually the least effective way for managing assets. To access the most details, it's best to use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or TV. Only use your phone as a last resort. Now let's look at Dell on the charts. All right, so let's go back to Thinkorswim. We already have them pulled up, so here we go. It took a minute and almost made me nervous. Now let's put this up, the right disclaimer. All right, it's working now, guys. I don't know what was going on earlier. All right, so we're looking at a 1 year daily chart, and we already have some technicals drew on the charts because this isn't our first time looking at Dell. Let's go and look at the 10-year weekly chart so we can see there is no historical data at these price levels, okay? So the new thing that we have going on here is this new 10-year high. And let's count this because I don't think this goes back actually 10 years. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. All right. Now, this is a 10-year weekly. We can see that right here. But the stock data only goes back 7 years. Okay. So this is going to be a 7-year high of $327.73. Yes. All right. So we got that. Now we're going to go back to our 1 year daily chart to do our technicals, and we're going to zoom into this area right here. And this is going to be kind of quick since we already got these technicals from when we reviewed Dell last time. So they still haven't filled this gap that they had. So the bottom of that gap was on May 21st. The top of the gap, which is the low of this candle, was on May 22nd. So anytime you see yellow on the charts on this live stream, those are going to identify gaps. So here's that gap from this candle's high and this candle's low. And these are daily candles. So this is today's candle. This is Thursday. So this is Wednesday. So Monday. So this has been running since the start of this week. So the gap, wait a minute. No. We had the holiday this week. So there is no Monday candle. This is Friday. So this is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. The market wasn't open Monday. So this candle is how they closed on Friday. And then we have that high on Friday's candle at $298.32. And this week, we're looking at these two candles now. So this is Tuesday. Let me drag this over. This is Tuesday, this green candle here, and this is Wednesday. And we can see that Wednesday actually came down and tested that $298.32 price level. And it wasn't even able really to get below it. And then today, they gapped up, but they closed the gap with the low and created this doji right here. And they hit a 52-week high, a new 52-week high, because every day they've been hitting a new 52-week high. So they hit a 52-week high on Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now today of $327.73. And They had earnings, which we just talked about that was today. Absolutely. So they had the earnings today and they were announced after market. So let's look at this. Ooh, wee. Oh man, I got to show you what I'm looking at because you like, what is he talking about? Why are you hollering? The market, Dell just skyrocketed after hours. So we can't see it on the day chart. So we have to go to the minute chart. So if I go over, this is the minute chart, guys. And let me show you how we got here. Let me zoom out. So this is what do I have it set on? 5-day minute chart. This is a 5-day minute chart we're looking at. And this black area right here is today's price action. This was during the regular hours. They announced earnings after the market closed. And now we can see that actual high right now is $443.86. I'm gonna have to zoom in because it's not snapping to the candle I wanted to snap to. $443.80. So what we're seeing on the daily chart isn't even where the high is right now. It's actually higher than that because they shot up after the market closed. That's crazy. So they closed today at $317 and gapped up over $120. Yeah, over $120 after the market closed. Wow. Dell ripped. Wow. Wow. So I'm moving the chart down so you can see how much higher the price is now. So this is where it's trading at now. That's that price level, $443.80. So this is just where they closed at 4 o'clock today. And after hours, when they made the earnings announcement. So we might see a huge, crazy gap up on this when the market opens tomorrow on Friday. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. So as far as technicals, this resistance right here has been blown away. And now because it gapped up so crazy, the technicals are going to be insane. If it opens up over $400, that's going to be a huge window. It's going to be a huge gap. Okay. That's what I'm seeing there. All right. So we can pretty much wrap Dell up. So let's because we already got our technicals on here. Let's go ahead and go to the settings. And we're going to cut on my floating data box and we are going to give the stock quote for Dell. So Dell opened today at $317.03. They had a high of $327.73 and they had a low of $311.52 and they closed today at $317.05, which was a trading range of $16.21. Now, the trading volume, they traded 26.6 million shares of this stock today. And guys, the average volume for this stock, let me take me off the screen and we're going to look at my volume labels. So when we go over here and look at the average trading volume for Dell, they only trade 7 million shares in a daily trading session on average. So this is already about 4 times what they usually get. Just shy of 4 times. Now, and from what we've seen with that huge spike after hours, the volume might be crazy tomorrow when the market open at 9:30. Wow. All right. So we're going to look at the volume rate percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only one day had higher volume than today. And today's volume was only 26.6 million shares. So I know tomorrow this volume rate, I don't know, but I'm guessing that based off what we're seeing on the chart with that huge gap up after hours, that's actually holding, because it's still up there. You can see it right here on the bid and ask of $439. I would not be surprised if the volume for tomorrow makes this volume rate percentile of 100%. I would not be surprised. But right now, for today's volume, the volume rate percentile is 99.6%, which means that today's volume was higher than 99.6% of the most recent 252 trading days volumes. Okay. So that's what we got going on. And Dell does pay a dividend. And the last time they paid it, they paid 63 cents per share. And it looks like they increased it because before that, it was 52 cents, 52.5 cents per share. Okay. So that's what we're seeing there. Now we can go ahead and move on. So let's go here. Let's go here and do this. All right. So back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys would share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description, as well as the ticker on the screen that's working now. All right, now let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. Okay, so let's go back to the charts. And here we go. We are going to look up the SPY so we can take Dell off the screen. And now we're going to go over here to our symbol box and type in SPY. Now, did they hit a new 50? They did. The SPY hit a new 52-week high today. Man, this information technology sector is crazy. It is crazy. And I'm sure that Dell's earnings helped push this up too. All right, so all of our technicals that we cover are not on the chart right now. So I'm gonna show you how, well, you can't see it. I'm gonna put the set back up. So here we go. So those are the technicals that we had. So if we zoom in, I had put, it's gonna take a minute. There we go. There we go. I had put this candle's high, which was Tuesday's high. I keep saying Monday because I'm so used to the week starting on Monday, but we had that holiday. So this is Tuesday's candle. So Tuesday's high was the previous 52-week high. And it was also a record high of $752.13. So I had that as resistance. We can remove that because that's not resistance anymore. Resistance is going to be on this new high. That's what I'm seeing. So now the SPY has a new record high of $755.15. And I'm seeing that same price as resistance. Support, I would bring it up a little bit. So I would remove this and I would move it up to the low of this candle. All right. And if I was to do it like a zone, I would do it like this. So I'll show you how I would do this if I did it as a zone. I would connect it to that low and I would connect it to the body, the top body of that candle. So what that does, this gets this wick, that wick, this wick, that wick, and that wick. So it covers more candles if I use a zone here instead of just that price level at $749.23. And then we can extend this by going to properties. And I'm going to extend it out to December 1st. It's just random. That's not a specific reason why I'm just using that date. It just extends it over to the right. Okay. So that's what we have there as far as the technicals. And the SPY, of course, is still trading above the 9-day simple moving average. That's my dashed green line you see here. And my dashed white line is a 200-day simple moving average. And all of these price levels of what we've been putting there as the SPY has been climbing and climbing and pulling back over the last 3 months as we've been doing these live streams. Okay. So I'm about to go back in here so we can get the ETF quote and talk about the volume that's going on with the SPY right now. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to the settings, cut on the floating data box. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I definitely would appreciate it. So the SPY opened today at $750.25. They had a high of $755.15, and they had a low of $749.23. And they closed today at $754.60, which was a trading range of $5.92. Now, when we look at trading volume, guys, They traded 41 million shares of this ETF today. And we've been seeing that as this ETF rises, it's rising on lower and lower volume. So when we go over here to my volume labels, take me off the screen, we can see that the average daily trading volume for the SPY is 74 million shares. And today, even though they hit a new high, it's lower with that 41 million compared to 42 million they had on Wednesday. So this red candle was 42.1 million shares traded that day. And then today, Thursday, they traded 41.5 million. So it's not lower by much, but it's still lower. And both of those days are below average. So we're saying low volume as the SPY is trading at record high prices. Okay. Now we're going to look at the volume rank percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 6 of those days had lower volume than today, even with this record high. And then when we look at the volume rank percentile, this means that today's volume is higher than only 2.4% of those most recent 252 trading days. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, so we're done with that. We can go here and let's keep the show moving. So now we're going to look at today's winners and losers in the S&P 500 index. But first, we're going to take a look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. All right, so let's go back to the charts. And we are going to go over to the Market Watch tab. And we already have the losers pulled up. So today's loser is ticker SNPS, Synopsis Incorporated. They lost 8.61%. So the previous close was $525.92, and they closed today at $480.64. So let's pull up the calculator and do a hypothetical. So if someone had invested, let's say $900, and they suffered, that's a strong word. They encountered, or they lost. Yeah, let's say that. They invested $900 and they lost that 8.61%. We're going to multiply this 8.61, negate it, make it negative, hit the percentage, hit equal. They would have lost $77.49 from their $900 investment. So if we add the $900 back to it, we can find out how much money they would be left with. So they would be left with $822.51 of their initial investment after that 8.61% loss. Got it. Now we can go ahead and move on to the Analyze tab, and we can see the ticker symbol right there, and they are in the information technology sector. I have never heard of this company before, but after doing a research about this company, it was very informative, at least for me. So I'm gonna share that with you after we visit their website. But we're gonna compare what happened in the S&P 500 information technology sector by going over to the Market Watch tab. Then we're going to go to the Visualize sub tab, and we're going to go inside the S&P 500. We're looking at the heat map, the S&P 500 heat map. That's what we're looking at right now. And it seems like it was I'm seeing a little bit more red than green. I don't know what you see, but I'm seeing a little bit more red than green. If I take me off the screen, you can see a little bit more. Yeah, so I'm seeing a little bit more red than green. But let's go down here, open up the S&P 500 index, and I'm going to go down to the information technology sector. So now I feel like I'm seeing more green, but it could also be because these market caps are so large. So the larger the market cap, the more space that ticker takes up. So that's why they're not the same sizes. Hope that makes sense to you. So here's SNPS, this bright red right in here. So you can see their market cap is 92 billion. You see it in that box. I can't move it, but at the bottom of that data box. Now, if I go over to NVIDIA, you can see their market cap is 5 trillion. So that's how they try to give you a visual of their market cap by the size of the space that it takes up in the heat map. Okay. So we want to go over to the software industry. That's where it looks like Synopsis is. So we're going to open the information technology sector up, And we're going to go to the software industry. Yeah. So the software industry really didn't do that bad, but SNPS did. I didn't read it. SNPS is the ticker. Synopsis did. Synopsis did bad. They lost the 8.61%. That's why they bright red. So the bigger the gain, the brighter the green. The bigger the loss, the brighter the red. That's what we're looking at on the visualize tab. So it doesn't look like the information technology sector and software industry actually did that bad, but Synopsis did. So let's see if we can get even more specific. So the application software. So inside the, excuse me, inside the application, this is the sub industry. So we're inside the information technology sector, we're in the software industry, and we're in the application software sub industry. So inside the sub industry, we can also see we getting more and more specific. That is more green than red from what I'm seeing. All right, so let's go back to the Analyze tab. Synopsis Incorporated, here's their website. Let me take me off the screen. You can't see it. Here's their website. The link to their website is also down in the description. Let me read a little bit about this company. Synopsis Incorporated provides design IP solutions in the semiconductor and electronics industries. It operates in two segments: design automation and design IP. Now, I did research before the live stream, so we're going to go into deeper details about what this company does and their partners and all of that after we visit the website. So let's go ahead and go to their website and put this disclaimer up to put the right one there. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I definitely would appreciate it. So right here at the top, we're going to go to careers. We're going to go to investors. We're going to browse over this home page and see what we can find out about the company, okay? They talk about the product, all different types of stuff, resources. Okay, learn. All right. So let's scroll over this homepage. NVIDIA and Synopsis announced strategic partnership. Wow, and the stock still went down. But it could have been anything, because this seems like that's good news. That seemed like a catalyst that would cause the stock to go up. But the stock went down, and that's the first thing we see on their website. They just did a strategic partnership with NVIDIA, and that's the highest weighted company in the S&P 500 index. It's almost 8% of the S&P 500 index. Okay, and they talk about it again now. Well, that's the same thing, just moused over it. So let's browse over this page so we can go to the other things that we talked about. So Synopsis AI, EDA, System, Silicon IP. Design the future today with Synopsis. So the industry, technology, HPC, data center, multi-die, mobile 5G. Man, they got their hands on a lot of stuff. So they say Imagination, UMC, Global Foundries, Samsung, NVIDIA, TSMC. Boy, okay. So here, careers, we down at the bottom of the page. Okay, so let me take me off the screen. We're going to go to About Us, because we didn't see that at the top. Careers and Investor Relations. So let's go to About Us. Got it. Click done here. I don't know what that is. Yo, all that cookie stuff. Put me back on the screen. All right, so here we are. We found the mission. So About Us, they have a video here you can watch. But our mission is to empower innovators to drive human advancement. Okay, revenue over 9 billion. They almost have 30,000 employees, and R&D investment. So that's research and development. So they invest more than 25%. Is that what that means? Into research? Research and development investment. And I'm seeing 25%, but I don't actually know what they mean by that. So that would definitely be something I would look up. Okay, so management team, careers. This is going to take us to a whole bunch of other website links. So we're not going to click all of that. So we went over to About Us, and now we're going to go to, this is going to take us to a different website. We're going to go to careers, because now we need to find the benefits. How well do they take care of their employees? That's what we're looking for now. So here is that website. Let me get it all set up. Zoom in. There we go. All right. Put this back. Okay. So we're looking for the benefits, guys. Career areas, locations, early careers, life, and Synopsis benefits. Wasn't hard to find. I love it when they do that. It's right at the top. So we're going to browse over this page, and then we're going to click on benefits, okay? Engineer the future with us. Join us at the center of what's next. Be part of an inclusive team that's igniting the ingenuity of tomorrow. So they've won over 100 workplace awards. They represented 30 countries, 30 country represented. I wonder what they mean by that. 7 employee-led communities and over 20,000 out-of-the-box thinkers. Okay, find your career culture, a community you can be a part of. Our people, why Synopsis works for our team around the globe. Okay. I'm just gonna browse a little bit faster. If you want to look this stuff up and go into it a little bit deeper, the links for this website are down in the description for your convenience. All right, I'm clicking on benefits. Let's find out about this. So did they zoom us out? Check that real quick. No, we're good. So benefits, they say apply now. Delivering world-class total rewards. It has a down arrow here. So I'm guessing they break this. That looked crazy. It looked like it was a different language. So health and wellness. Okay. So U.S. benefits. So they have it broken down depending on where that employee resides. Okay. Career growth, discover our values, community belonging, explore possibilities with Synopsis. So you can check that out and dive into that on your own time. And now we're going to go to investor relations. I'm blocking it. So let me take me off the screen so you can see it right here. Investor relations. Boom. It opened up on a different website. So I'm bringing it over so you can see it. So here we go. Blow that up. Reject all. Expand this. Wait a minute. That's not it. Bam. Bam. Got it. Zoom in. Make sure we zoomed in because sometimes they zoom us out, guys. All right. So investor relations, we are on that link now. So they trade on the NASDAQ. There's the tickers, stock price, the loss, the net loss and percentage loss. Scroll over this page, and then we're going to go look for the stock quote. Put me back on the screen. We're going to look for the stock quote, and we're going to look for the charts that they provide on their website, if they even offer it. And we can click on, here it is right here, stock info. Bam, easy to find. So stock quote, stock chart, and other investing tools. So let's go to stock quote. Sometimes they have the stock quote on the same page as the chart. There it is. There it is. Everything's right there. All right, now let's go to the research of what I found out about this company. So here we go. Synopsis Incorporated, ticker SNPS. When it comes to their goods and services, they provide electronic design, automation software, and semiconductor intellectual property globally, offering solutions such as advanced silicon design, verification tools that allow engineers to design, simulate, and test highly complex integrated circuits. Okay, so think about everything that's going on with AI, you know, circuits, AI, data centers, storage, energy, like all of that stuff that goes into it, peripherals, storage devices. I'm trying to think of SSD drives and all of that, because they need to store that data and process it. So this is where this company comes in. So just listen to the rest of this stuff. An expansive portfolio of pre-designed silicon intellectual property blocks, including logic, memory, and interface solutions to accelerate the chip design process, and comprehensive technology system solutions, professional consulting, and design services to support customer semiconductor engineering pipelines. All right. And looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include, which we just saw on their website, NVIDIA Corporation, ticker NVDA, Advanced Micro Devices Incorporated, ticker AMD, and Intel Corporation, ticker INTC. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the charts. Let's go over there. All right, so we got the charts pulled up. Now, we've never looked at this company before. This technical analysis line I put on there before the show started, okay? Because that interests me when I saw it pull back here, and I'm gonna break down why I chose that price level, but I don't remember looking at the 10-year weekly chart. So let's go back and look at that, and then we'll come back to the 1-year daily. Okay. All right. I'm seeing, yeah. So let me take me off the screen and we can go ahead and talk about this. So we're looking at a 10-year weekly chart. The 10-year low is $50.67. The 10-year high is $651.73. So that's what we're looking at there. So since this is where the price action is right now, I'm going to say this level right here, I'm seeing that as resistance, as potential resistance. And I'm seeing this area as potential support. Now I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to explain to you why I picked those levels. Okay. So let me use my other mouse. So the reasons I picked this price level of $463.97, I'm seeing that in 2023, it was respected as support and resistance. I'm also seeing it held as support right here in 2024. And I'm seeing that it got broken through here and turned into resistance in 2025. Then it was able to break back through it, and it held as support. And that's when it went up to the $651.73. Then it fell back through that price level. That's a very small arrow, so I'm gonna delete that. But it fell back through that area of support. But then the very next week, it closed back above it. And then these two candles on the weeks respected that as support more so than these two as support and resistance. But it seems to have trouble around that price level. It broke through it on this week here, but that's why I chose that price level. Now, taking that same idea from the $463.97, I'm just going to highlight it up here so you can see what I'm saying. Those areas there and here, same thing here. Now that I pointed it out that one time, you should be able to identify it a lot quicker. Here too. I know it's a lot going on. Going to delete it. I just wanted to let you see what I was talking about, why I picked those levels, okay? So we can put me back on the screen so you can see who's talking to you. But that's where I got. Okay, and we can also see that right here, since we're looking at a weekly chart, this is a 200-week simple moving average. The dashed white line, because we're looking at a weekly chart. The dashed green line is a 9-week simple moving average, and we can see that the 9-week is crossing over the 200-week to the upside, the simple moving average. So let's go back to the 1-year daily chart. And now we have our technicals drawn from what we gathered from the 10-year weekly chart. And now I can look for what I'm seeing as potential support and resistance. So this area interests me to where I'm seeing it more so as a zone than just a line. Okay, so let me get ready to draw this so you can see what I'm saying. I'm seeing this and this. So if I was to take this and extend this over to December 1st of 2026, that support resistance zone would extend all the way over so you can see how many candles is going to cross. Okay, bam. So now using this, I can show you again. All this area here, this area here, here, all of that tested it. This tested it. This held as resistance, so it wasn't able to get above it. Matter of fact, I can extend that and make it a little further. So all the way here, it held as resistance, and then it sold down here, came back up to test it, and it was able to get through it right here. And then it tested it as support on this red candle right here. All right. So that's why I'm seeing that zone as support and resistance instead of just using a line. So that's my quick technical analysis on Synopsis. And we can go ahead and look at what happened today. All right. So they had earnings, but when was earnings? So they announced earnings after the market closed yesterday. So today they actually reacted to it when the market opened. All right. So it opened here at the top of the body on this red candle. It made a high, so it closed that gap because that would have been a gap down. But the high closed it. So there's no longer a gap. And it came all the way down and it tested that 200-day simple moving average. So now we're looking at daily candles. So that white dashed line is a 200-day and the dashed green line is a 9-day now. All right. So that's what I'm seeing as far as the technicals. support, resistance, and all of that. So let's cut on our floating data box and let's get the stock quote for Synopsis. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing. I definitely would appreciate it. So Synopsis opened today at $510. They had a high of $526.09. They had a low of $471.69. And they closed today at $480.64, which was a trading range of $54.40. Now, when we look at the trading volume, they traded 4.7 million shares of their stock today. So what that's telling me right off the back before we look at the volume labels is that they trade a low volume on average, because usually around earnings you see increased volume for companies. All right, so let's go over here to my volume labels. Take me off the screen. And right here, we can see that the average daily trading volume for Synopsis is 2.2 million shares in a daily trading session. And today they did about twice that, a little bit more than twice that today. And this was in response to earnings. So that's still kind of low if we're comparing it to other companies. But for Synopsis, this is a big deal. And we're about to break that down about why. So on Wednesday, this is Wednesday's volume. They traded 2.4 million, and that was slightly higher than average. Now we can put me back on the screen. Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 12 of those days had higher volume than today. So DA stands for days above, DB stands for days below. Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 95.2% of those daily candles volume. Okay, so bam. We did our technical analysis on Synopsis. So now we can go back over here to the Market Watch tab. And then we're going to go to quotes. We're going to change this column to the winners. So today's winner in the S&P 500 is ticker DLTR, Dollar Tree Incorporated. They banged out today. They went up by 17.87%. Their previous close was $95.87. And they closed today at $113. So let's do our hypothetical, pull up a calculator. Let's say if somebody invested, let's say $2,300. If they invested $2,300 and they got that 17.87% gain, we hit the percentage, hit equal, bam, they would have received the gain of $411.01. And then we add the $2,300 investment principal back to it. The total investment would have grown to $2,711.01. Bam, we got it. Now, we already have Dollar Tree selected. We can go over to analyze. We can see the ticker right there, DLTR, and they are in the consumer staples sector. So let's go ahead and go over to the Market Watch tab, go to visualize, and we're going to go to the S&P 500. We're going to the consumer staples sector. So from what I'm seeing, it was more red than green in this sector today. Okay, but Dollar Tree did well. This bright green right here. So they are in the consumer staples distribution and retail industry. So if we open this up, we could get more specific. So we can go to consumer staples distribution and retail industry. So now we can see that the only red companies in this industry was Costco and Kroger. But Cisco Corporation, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Target, and Walmart had green days. And we can get even more specific and go to consumer staples, merchandise, and retail. There we go. So out of these, the only ones that did bad was Costco. All right. So this is the sub industry. Now we're going to go back to Analyze tab and keep the show moving. We're doing good tonight. So I'm already off the screen. So Dollar Tree Incorporated, here's their website. Link to their website is also down in the description for your convenience. So Dollar Tree Incorporated operates retail discount stores under the Dollar Tree and Dollar Tree Canada brands in the United States and Canada. I did research on this company before the live stream, so I'm going to share that with you after we visit their website. So let's go ahead and go to their website, and we're going to do a technical analysis on the charts. So browsing over their website, Every time we look at a website where they sell stuff, we're not going to find nothing but stuff they want us to buy. So we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and just browse over it, and then we'll find the stuff that we need to click on, okay? So let's keep it moving. Shop thrilling finds. Limited time only. Get summer ready. You know how you go to the store with something in mind, like specific, and then once you get there, you see all them, you end up buying everything. You're like, man, I need that. I need that. This is one of those situations when you go onto these companies' websites that sell stuff. You're like, man, I need a bowl. I need a glass, just because they showed it to you. So they sell everything, which we'll talk about in a minute when we get to the research, okay? So we're at the bottom of the page. And when it's a website like this, it's usually an investor website link that takes us somewhere else. But we can see right here, we want to go to About Us, we want to go to Careers, and we want to go to Investor Relations. So let's just go ahead and get started with About Us. And they did open it up as a different website. So let me bring that over so you can see it. And let me put this stuff back. So we're going to blow this up, blow that up, zoom in. Wait a minute. Zoom in over here. Bam. We're already good. All right. So we're going to read over this page. This is about value, convenience, and discovery. In the midst of massive growth, Dollar Tree remains committed to our original mission, giving our customers great value at low prices. With over 9,000 stores in the US and Canada, we're fulfilling that mission more now than ever. All right, so they talk about the overview, leadership, and history. It's all about the thrill of the hunt. Man, he looked happy. Dollar Tree Incorporated at a glance. Over 9,000 stores in over 48 contiguous states. I'm gonna have to look that up. Canadian, I know what that means. I think that's excluding Alaska and Hawaii. Contiguous means the connected states. I think that's what that means, but I'm guessing. Over 150,000 associates in 16 distribution centers, meeting our customers' changing needs, expanding product assortment at Dollar Tree stores. Dollar Tree proud, culture and belonging, community impact, sustainability, and our leadership. All right, so we got that. Our leadership. We have a refreshed board of directors and a strong management team that are focused not only on solid operational performance, but also on critical environmental, social, and governance initiatives across our business. So if you've never heard of what we're doing here, just to throw this out here, we're doing what's called qualitative analysis. So most of the time people do technical analysis and fundamental analysis. This is qualitative analysis. Look it up. All right. So that's what we're doing on this channel, and technical analysis when we go over to the charts. So values, culture, and belonging. We're not going to go into that. Let's go over to careers and see if we can find the benefits, guys. All right, let's see if they zoomed us out. Here goes some AI stuff. Deny, I don't know what they talking about there. Zoom in. No, yep, they zoomed us out. So let's go back to 150. Here we go. I see it right at the top, benefits. Boom, they talk about our culture as well. Discover the value of you. So I'm gonna browse over this page, find career opportunities tailored just for you, and then we're going to click on benefits. Choose a career that works for you. Remember, the links for these websites are down in the description for your convenience if you want to check them out. Dollar Tree stores, distribution centers, corporate headquarters, where purpose meets fulfillment. Find your role. Here's to your everyday health and wellness. Okay, so here it is right here. They talk about their benefits. Let's go ahead and click on that. Let's keep it moving. Discovering the value of you has its benefits. We value your well-being, health, and wellness for you and yours. All right, so they do a decent job of breaking this stuff down. I'm not going to read all of it because we'll be all night, but remember the links are down in the description. That's a cute baby for your convenience. Family planning plan for tomorrow today, supporting your education journey, get more in return. I'm going to read over a little of them because that was a little too fast. Health and wellness for you and yours. Explore a range of comprehensive care options designed to promote the health and well-being of you and your loved ones. All right, medical, dental, health savings accounts, virtual medical visits, well-being programs, provide associates with their households with health, legal, financial, that's interesting, legal, and personal growth tools. A fully paid life insurance policy, and also have videos about life insurance on the channel. You might want to check those out. There's 5 videos in that playlist as well. It's 3 more that I need to do. but we'll talk about it. It's some great information in the ones that I completed, so you can check that out. All right, so let's go ahead and go to investor relations. We did that, so let's go down to the bottom. I don't see that. Here it is, investors. Thank gosh. Let's go there, and then we can go ahead and go to the charts after we look at what I found about the company in my research. So we're on investors relations page. Let's see, we already zoomed where we need to be. There's the stock price, the trade on the NASDAQ. There's the ticker. And we see some stats here. So we're going to scroll down to the bottom, and then we're going to look for the stock quote and the stock chart. Okay. And remember, links to this website are down in the description for your convenience. All right, guys, we're at the bottom, so we can go right here to stock info. We're going to go to stock quote, and they do have other tools here available on the website. So here's the stock quote. Actually, that's the stock chart. Here's the stock quote. All right. So now that we did that, we can go ahead and go here, and I can share with you the research that I found about the company. So Dollar Tree Incorporated, ticker DLTR, when it comes to their goods and services, they provide variety, discount, and consumable merchandise globally, offering solutions such as household consumables and personal care products, variety inventory spanning celebration supplies, kitchenware, apparel, and home decor, seasonal and electronics merchandise featuring toys, holiday items, and lawn or garden hardware, and foundational everyday basics consisting of grocery, food, candy, beverages, and pet supplies. And looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include the Coca-Cola Company, ticker KO, PepsiCo Incorporated, ticker PEP, and Procter & Gamble Company, ticker PG. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the charts. There we go. All right, so go to the charts. Now, looking at the charts, guys, we looked at Dollar Tree before. I don't know what I did right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and remove that because we don't have any other technicals up here. We're looking at a 1-year daily chart. Their 52-week low is $84.71. Their 52-week high is $142.40. And we're going to zoom out, and we're going to go to a 10-year weekly chart. And on the 10-year weekly chart, they have a 10-year low of $60.20. That was back in 2020. And then they have a 10-year high of $177.19, and that was in 2022. Being and so, this is where the price action is now using the weekly candles immediately. I see this area as support and resistance. And we can pretty much see, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and do a zone. So if I connect to that, and then I go down here, what's that price level? $118.06. So I'm going to go to edit properties, $118.06, 06, hit OK, bam. And then we're going to extend this over. How far over? It is already December 1st, just to be specific. There we go. So that's my support and resistance zone that I am seeing on the chart. And if I take me off the screen so I can show you where I'm getting this from, all right? Give me a second. Here we go. Take me off the screen. Take me off the screen. There we go. All right. So here I'm seeing that area respected as resistance. I'm seeing it here respected as resistance. Here. And actually, this is where I'm seeing something I missed, okay? So I'm going to take this off and show you. You see these candles down here? These candles look like they hit resistance as well. And then if we glance over here, that looks like that would be almost where this week's candle stalled at, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mouse over and find out what the high of this candle right here was. Let me zoom in. That's 2020. So 2020, this candle right here. So the high of that candle was $114.32. Let me put me back on the screen. And I'm going to extend this. So I said that, what price did I say it was? The high was $114.32. $114.32. 114.32. There we go. So I'm just extending. I made it wider. I made that support and resistance zone wider. Now, when I zoom out and we come over here, we can see that this week's candle actually respected that now. That's what I saw that I missed as we was going across it. All right. So let me go back, take me off the screen. I wonder if it's going to give me a hard time. Take me off. There we go. All right. So I'm seeing this as resistance here. I'm seeing as resistance here, here. And then it was able to break through it here finally with this week's candle right there. All right. Then it came back and it didn't really hold. It only held for 1 week. Then it had trouble getting through it again at the end of 2023. And then it was able to go up. And then it kind of had trouble with it again and found it as support. And I mean, it really sold off in 2024. It came all the way down here to less than $70. So right here it was trading between $70 and $60 for almost, looks like 5 months. Looks like about 4 or 5 months. It don't look like 6 to me. And then, so I'm seeing this area is consolidation and then it recovered. We can put me back on the screen. Give me a second, put me back on the screen. And then it found it and respected that as resistance. It pulled back. Then it went back to test it and made its way through. It danced above it for a while right here, guys, and then it fell right back below it. And now it's coming back to test that price level again. I mean, that price level right there at $118.06. I'm gonna put both of them on there because we can't see what the low of that range is. We see what the high of that range is, but not the low. So if we go to edit properties, I know there's a lot of stuff on the screen. $114.32. $114.32. Edit properties. $114.32. Okay, there we go. So that's the top of that range and that's the low of that range. Now we're going to go back to the daily chart. So this is the 1 year daily chart, and we can see that today, that's where it struggled at with that resistance zone, support and resistance zone. Now I'm going to show you what I'm seeing as resistance that's above that. So I'm seeing this area. So let me do another zone. These highs and that candle's body. So if I extend this over to December 1st, I'm seeing that as a resistance zone as well. All right. Now, as far as support, I'm seeing this area right here. And we can see that that was tested a few times, okay? So let me take me off the screen and show you what I'm talking about. Take me off the screen. We can see it was tested as resistance and support here. Support and resistance here. Support and resistance here. I know it didn't actually touch, but it held that support, came close to it, and it didn't fall below it. And then we see it tested again here, all within there. So that $97.77. All right, now take that off, put me back on the screen. And I'm going to show you the gap. We have a gap here. So this is Wednesday's high and today's low. We're going to extend this over to December 1st. It's just a date I like to use to make sure it's out far enough. And we're going to change this to yellow because yellow represents a gap. So that's the gap. So we can immediately see that that's what happened. All right. So we have our support. We have our resistance. This is our 200-day simple moving average. This is our 9-day simple moving average, the dashed green line and the dashed white line. And we can see that the price action closed above the 200-day simple moving average, above the 9-day simple moving average, and just below that support and resistance zone that we went all the way back to, what time was that? 2018 with. All right. So that's what I'm seeing. And if we put another price level of support and resistance, I would say right up in there. All right. That's what I'm seeing. So let's zoom in and let's get the stock quote for Dollar Tree. We can get ready to wrap the show up, guys. You've been hanging on. You a soldier. You really getting your learn on tonight. So here we go. Dollar Tree opened at $111.01. They had a high of $114.64. They had a low of $106.40, and they closed today at $113, which was a trading range of $8.24. Oh my gosh. I got all these chats coming through. Guys, I'm so sorry. I ain't getting none of these chats popping up on the doggone screen. I didn't even know. I wasn't even paying attention. So I'm gonna address those comments. I have no idea when they even came through. Guys, I appreciate the comments. I've been on a roll tonight. I ain't even look at the comments. For some strange reason, this thing did not alert me to let me know. But let's just go ahead and finish. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's all I can say. So we did that. Now let's look at the volume. They traded 13.2 million shares of this stock today. Okay. And did they have earnings today? We didn't even talk about that. So let me take the floating data box off. Let's talk about the earnings, or at least find out where they announced before or after hours. So they were announced before the market opened today. So if they were announced before the market opened, then they should have had a reaction with the volume, which would explain, or could explain, the huge gap up that we see on increased volume. So now let's talk about the volume that we see today. And then I'm gonna get to these comments, because I was totally oblivious of it, guys. Please forgive me, but I'm gonna get to it in a second. So when we take me off the screen and we look over here, the average trading volume for Dollar Tree in a daily trading session is 3.8 million shares of this stock. Okay, so today they traded 13.2 million. So that's about 4 to 5 times what they normally get. All right. And the previous volume, so that's the volume on Wednesday, they traded 6.2 million shares on Wednesday. And today they did 2 times that, over 2 times that. All right. Put me back on the screen. Now, volume rank percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 2 of those days had higher volume than today. All right. Days above. Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile, today's volume was higher than 99.2% of those 252 trading candles, daily candles. All right. So bam, we did it, guys. Now I can address these comments that oh my gosh, I can't believe I ain't even look. I just was like, let's just do the show. This program that I'm supposed to be using, this Social Stream Ninja, guys, if you can help me out, I definitely would appreciate it. I can't get this thing to work for the life of me. Sometimes it work right, sometimes it don't. So I apologize. I missed some of these comments. Let's go over. She said, here finally. All right, my sis, Tiara, thank you so much for the comment, girl. Thank you so much. So you hear, then you're like, oh, wow, on The Biggest Loser. Yes, yes, absolutely. Now let's see what Body by Bedrock has said. What system am I using? I thought I had that up on the screen. My apologies. I'm using the Think or Swim platform. That's the disclaimer that I usually have on the bottom of the screen with the charts. Yeah. So that's what you should have been seeing while I was doing the live stream. So I apologize. I didn't see that comment while we were doing the live stream. But yes, I'm using the Think or Swim platform. Appreciate the comment. Hope you like and you consider subscribing to the channel. And here is your other comment. If the infotech sector does well, what would that make one more inclined to run a SNPS play, assuming it's just lagging and going to follow the sector? All right, so I'm trying to make sure I don't give financial advice. So for educational purposes, this is where I am with how I look at sectors. I just look at, let's say, discrepancies or divergence or differences. So if you're looking at a company that's not performing as well as a company that is performing well in the same sector, instead of me making a decision just based off that, I look at it like a red flag. I'm looking at it like, okay, I need to look into this to find out for myself and my research, why is this company not performing as well as its peers or as its competitors? Is there something specific that's going on with this company that I don't know about? That's not enough information for me to just say, okay, I need to buy this, or okay, I need to sell this. That's not enough information. That just tells me it's something I need to look into. Because sometimes companies are actually in their own cycle within that sector. So, for example, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but some companies do what's called stock buybacks. So when they're buying their own shares back, usually they're doing that when their prices of their stock is at a discount. That's usually when they do that. So if the company is in a space and time, or they're in that cycle or that process of buying their shares back, usually from what I've seen, their stock price is depressed. It doesn't necessarily mean the company is bad. It's just that where they are with what they're doing, it makes more sense for their price of their stock to be low while they're buying it back. They wouldn't want to be buying their stock back while it's high. Now, how that keeps everybody else at bay and keeps the price down, I have no idea. I have no idea. So one of the companies I was looking at was SMCI. So I was looking at SMCI and I was purchasing it around $30, around $30 to $33. And what ended up happening, they came out with terrible news. I already felt like it was at a bargain at that time. And then they came out with terrible news and they lost a third of their stock price overnight. So when that happened, the stock price went from 30 something dollars, like $30, $31 down to $19 the next day. And I got knocked out of the trade. So as far as like I didn't get knocked out. I couldn't suffer any more losses, so I closed the position. But in a matter of, let's say, I just looked at it today, man. I almost wanted to cry. I looked at it today, and now that stock is trading over $44. So I ended up taking a huge L, and then it went past where I was initially building my position at. So the swing is crazy. I took a loss and missed out on that profit. But that company at that time was not performing as well as its peers. And when I did my due diligence and did my research on it, from what I was seeing, there was nothing wrong with the company. It just was that they were really cheap compared to what was going on with the rest of the companies in that sector. So when you see that, I gave you a long answer, but that means that it just needs your attention for you to do your own research. You need to find out why, because sometimes the price itself does not tell the whole story. A horrible company could be overpriced and a great company could be underpriced. Our job is to figure out how can we figure out what the value of the company is and not let someone else tell us what the value of the company is, because we should be educated enough to make those decisions for ourselves. And then the good thing about that is that once you develop the skill to educate, to be able to see it for yourself, you believe in what you saw for yourself more than what somebody else told you. And that's what causes a lot of people to get frustrated if they do take advice from somebody, which they're not supposed to be giving you financial advice, and it doesn't play out immediately or play out how they think it should, then they get upset with that person. But if you make that decision yourself, then you have to look yourself in the mirror and figure out what you did wrong. Okay? So I hope that answers your question, and thank you so much for asking that question. And I apologize about missing these questions tonight. I was in the zone and I wasn't looking up. And for some reason, like I said, this chat thing is not working right. Yeah, I don't even know if it's connected, guys. But anyway, let's get ready to wrap up the show. And I got a special announcement to make anyway. So let me go ahead and get that out of the way. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, May 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm reviewing comments and responding to chats, as well as performing a live Q&A so I can focus on building our community and answering you guys' questions like I just did with the questions that I had missed. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.